Barack Obama once tweeted, "We are the first generation to feel the effect of climate change, and the last generation who can do something about it." That tweet was posted in 2014. 6 years later, our generation is still wrestling with climate change. 2020 was the most active hurricane season on record, with 29 named storms. In their aftermath, millions of people were impacted, and thousands of people are migrating to the United States. Our policymakers and industry leaders have proposed multiple pathways to achieve a sustainable future for our energy demands. But which path do we choose? There are plenty of energy sources, including wind, solar, nuclear, geothermal, biomass, hydropower, and of course, fossil fuels. In recent years, the hydraulic fracturing or fracking revolution has reignited our interest in natural gas. The same year Obama posted his tweet, fracking allowed the United States to reach energy independence. There are economic and foreign policy implications that we must consider as we chart a path forward. Time is quickly running out, so we must use energy resources currently at our disposal to mitigate the effects of climate change, power our economy, and protect the energy future of the United States. Fracking must be part of any path moving forward in order to sustain current and future energy demand. Even though there are varied perceptions among Americans about fracking, we are still responsible for making an informed decision. Fracking technology has been around since the 1940s, and it has been regularly used to increase production rates in conventional oil and gas wells. The practice came about in order to reach hard-to-exploit rock formations. In simple terms, fracking is a process that involves the use of water, sand, and chemicals. First, a hole is drilled about 5,000 feet below the surface until it reaches a shale layer. Then, the drill is shifted horizontally, and a perforating gun creates holes along the newly drilled pathway. Most importantly, the mixture of water, sand, and chemicals are pumped into the pathway at high pressures. This is the perfect mixture that allows for the cracking of the shale rock and the ability for natural gas to flow out where it would otherwise remain trapped inside the shale formation. Finally, the water and chemicals shoot back up and are treated for disposal and storage. This final step allows for the natural gas to flow out. This is the product that is shipped for commercial purposes through pipelines. Currently, there are trillions of cubic meters of natural gas in the shale formations of the continental United States. This process has employed thousands of new Americans, reduced the need for coal, powered the economy, and reduced the need for importing oil from the Middle East and other regions of the world. In fact, the United States repealed its oil export ban in 2015, since it had secured access to trillions of cubic meters of natural gas via fracking. According to journalist Rachel Maddow, the United States has enough natural reserves to power its economy for another century. There are environmental benefits as well, since fracking is less destructive than mining for coal. However, the byproducts of natural gas are far more detrimental to the environment. A major component of the natural gases that are produced from shale rock is methane. This is extremely problematic because methane is a very potent greenhouse gas. In fact, methane has a 100-year global warming potential, which is 25 times higher than carbon dioxide. This means that the effects of using methane will impact the planet for a significantly longer period of time when compared to other fossil fuels. Additionally, over a 20-year period of time, methane gas is 84 times more potent than a greenhouse gas such as carbon dioxide. This is extremely alarming because not only does methane remain in the atmosphere over a longer period of time, it is also more damaging to the environment than other greenhouse gases. A more shaky consequence of fracking includes man-made earthquakes. In Texas and other states, there has been an increase in seismic activity directly linked to the use of fracking. Water contamination has also been reported in areas close to production sites. These issues directly impact residents living there. Some of these incidents have created a negative perception about fracking. In the United States, public perception on fracking varies, and there are partisan and regional differences. 66% of Republicans support fracking, compared to only 26% of Democrats and 35% of independents. People living in rural communities and the elderly are more likely to support fracking than urban residents and younger people. Abroad, differences in opinion are not partisan based. For example, British citizens are generally more ambivalent towards fracking than Americans, and Chinese citizens are more supportive. But it is difficult to measure opposition there, since speech is censored. Nonetheless, natural gas via fracking continues to power the world's largest economies. There is already infrastructure in place to support this industry, and it can be expanded to accommodate more growth in the future. This infrastructure is reliable and complements other renewable energy sources. Wind and solar alone cannot meet our energy demands. So while we build wind and solar farms, we can make use of natural gas via fracking instead of other sources such as coal. Hydraulic fracking has transformed the U.S. economy and completely changed the future of climate change and sustainable energy. Although fracking has several negative side effects, it may still act as a bridge in the long path to sustainable energy in the 21st century. The fuels obtained by shale rocks can already be used to power many facilities without requiring a lot of change to the existing energy infrastructure. Additionally, Americans will save billions of dollars with lower oil prices. Foreign policy also benefits since decreased reliance on foreign imports means that the U.S. can preserve its energy independence and can stay out of conflict in oil-rich nations, since it no longer has an interest in the oil there. Money that would have been spent in wars in the Middle East can be invested domestically into energy research. This will allow for the advancement in technology in order to make the transition to renewable energy quicker. Based on these factors, it is recommended that at this time the U.S. continues to use shale gas and fracking technology to meet a portion of its energy demand. Even though this is not clean energy, it can act as a transitory energy source, and it is cleaner than conventional fossil fuels. Moreover, its domestic abundance will provide a clearer and safer pathway towards energy independence, while the country invests in other energy sources to complete the transition to renewable energy. At this time of great change in the energy sector, only one thing is certain. Fracking technology will play a crucial role in creating sustainable energy for the 21st century.